Wow, what a week we had. Crazy, crazy week. It's been a long time since we've been on the episode on Mr. Vamos Dissects, but a lot of stuff has been happening. Champions League, the English teams have been knocked out. In the Premier League, the Golden Boot race is becoming heated up there. Everyone is trying to take away the dominance of Man City in regards to scoring goals. You've seen Cold Cole came through and put in 4 goals the other day. So it's been really crazy. And of course, here at Mr. Vamos, we are going to fill you in with what has happened the previous weeks. And it's been a minute since we were here, but good things always come at the end. And well, Mr. Vamos is back. Welcome to yet another episode of Mr. Vamos Dissects. This weekend, we'll be looking into, of course, the Premier League. We're still continuing the race to the title. It's been an interesting race this time around. And then we'll look into we're going to talk about the issue at Chelsea. I think the ego of the players inside there. We're going to talk about the El Clasico. Of course, Barcelona is taking on Real Madrid. And then we'll most definitely give you a few picks here and there, and then we'll call it a wrap. Well, for those of you that are new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications so that you can get to know the content as it comes through. I'll start with, of course, the Premier League. Well, I don't mean to sound bad or to mean to go off it, but well, Arsenal looks like they want to bottle the league again. Well, they lost against Aston Villa on Sunday the other time, and very many of them are now thinking that the title is now gone. Well, they like to say, let's wait for how things unfold at the end, and you probably need to cross the bridge when you get there. But stuff looks uncertain for the Mikel Arteta side. Came through to the Champions League. The pedigree for Bayern Munich was up there. They lost that one inside there, so they got out of the Champions League. Liverpool got out of the Conference League. Again, England moving out. Man City out of the Champions League. So what is really interesting here is that these three teams are now going to focus on the Premier League because that's what is up for grabs right now. Arsenal is playing Wolves. In fact, Wolves is hosting Arsenal at the Molineux. Arsenal has been whooping Wolves from ever since I can remember. I think the last time Wolves beat Arsenal must have been in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, if my calendar suits me right. And of course, when Arsenal loses against Bayern Munich, Arsenal has a tendency of not recovering from losses because I usually count 3 losses for Arsenal to get back to winning ways. But they faced a Wolves side that is not really good at scoring goals. They have been finding it hard to score goals. They played the past month without a number 9 inside there. And Matheus Cunha is actually back in the fray. He's back playing ball. I think he's back solid. He actually scored 2 goals during the last outing. And they were actually 2 beautiful goals against Nottingham Forest. They've been relying on Pablo Sarabia to play as a false 9. But of course, teams like this can't play under a false 9. Arsenal, on the other hand, in the Premier League, it's been nice results week in, week out, apart from the loss against Aston Villa. The real question would be, will Arsenal steady? Will the boys at Arsenal be able to gather themselves up and forget about what happened in Europe and get back and focus on the Premier League? My stand is always the same. I think Mikel Arteta against Aston Villa, I think he must have tried to overthink the game, because I'm thinking if Arsenal has been playing with Kai Havertz playing as a false 9, I don't see why in a pivotal game of the season you is bringing Kai Havertz back into the midfield. All of us know that when Arsenal lines up a midfield of Jorginho, Declan Rice and Odegaard, nobody is going to bypass that midfield. Of course, with the industry of Odegaard, he just needs someone behind him to steady everything. But, well, of course, in the press conference, he says he's the manager and he decides, but these are decisions that will cost you. And then recently, the partnership of Saliba and Mahalenges has been sloppy a bit because, of course, the goal that Aston Villa scored, the Leon Bailey goal, most of the guys in the back actually went to bed and slept. So, for me, I think Arsenal gets back to winning ways today. I'm even going to take the mathematics away, the 3 losses straight. But most definitely, Wolves has to score a goal inside that one. Today, I want to give you guys factual predictions. I want to give you guys how I'm seeing it. And Arsenal Wolves for me will be a 2-1 Arsenal. Liverpool out of the conference, out of the Europa League. They face a Fulham side. Fulham got back to winning ways last time out. They scored 2 goals inside there. Of course, Andres Pereira scoring 2 beautiful goals inside there. They've had a run of 3 games without wins, and then they won that one. Liverpool, on the other hand, they lost against Crystal Palace last weekend. Last weekend actually had a lot of misfortunes and everything inside there for people that are chasing the trophy. Crystal Palace came through with an early first half goal and they sealed the deal. I don't know how Liverpool is going to get this one, because coming off from losing in the Premier League the last time out, and then of course, they won at Atlanta, but it wasn't enough because Atlanta had already done the business at the Anfield in the first leg. And now Fulham getting back to winning ways the last time out would not be a good fixture for Liverpool at the moment. Being boosted by the return of Diego Jota, Darwin Núñez is doing what Darwin Núñez does recently. Of course, he's actually been racking in goals, but he's been missing a number of chances recently, and that's not really good for a team like that. Well, Bradley got injured, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is back in the fray. Alisson Becker is back. So I think Liverpool has all the firepower to take on Fulham. Well, this game will come down to who wants it more, because I believe Liverpool boys right now might not be having all the confidence that they have. If you were to notice the game against Atlanta the other day, Jurgen Klopp took his final bow in Europe, and of course there was the hats off for him. It's really been emotional for him, because I think he wanted to leave the club with a whole lot of accolades and silverware to himself, but that didn't really happen. And both Arteta and Klopp are still optimistic about the title. And well, Klopp says they have to play until the very last game. But if it were up to me, and I'm looking into the Fulham-Liverpool game with, of course, my guy Rodrigo Muniz has been fluffing his lines for the past 3 game weeks. Of course, they've not been really unlocking him. And I think Marco Silva and how he's playing the boys, he's been calling up to Adama Traore to come off the bench, and it's been inspiration in all the times that he's been coming off the bench. And now for a side like Liverpool that attacks a lot, they'll be most definitely looking to catch them on the break. Well, if you were up to me in regards to prediction, this is a very, very tricky one. But I think this will be a goal either way. But then I think the best thing that Liverpool takes away for me in this one might be a draw. Might be a draw, but let me just close one eye and give these guys a win in this one. Also 2-1 Liverpool. And then when we get out of the Premier League, well, this weekend we have the FA Cup, I forgot to mention. Well, I already did a video for the FA Cup. The link will be inside there, but I will not even dissect and go inside that one. Man City takes on Chelsea. I gave you guys a Man City win inside that one. Although Chelsea is actually hot and everything is moving for them, Cold Call is actually doing the wonders and everything. I think Man City takes this one away for me. All the dissection will be in the video. Man United takes on Coventry. Well, Man U is being disturbed by the small teams recently. All these small teams are giving us headache and what. But I think Coventry will not be something to disturb Man United. Well, they faced a Liverpool and they pulled in a draw inside there, and they've really been playing, I will not say the best football, but Coventry will not be a problem. So that's a Man U win for you guys in the FA Cup. When we get into the big one, the El Clasico, well, Barcelona was outed during the week. A very stupid Araujo tackle inside there to make them get a red in the first half. And then, of course, Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele punished them. Well, things will not be looking good because they come into the El Clasico of an elimination from the Champions League. And Real Madrid has been bossing them in recent times. Real Madrid has won the last 2 encounters against Barcelona. And of course, Real Madrid off the back of beating Man City. Beating Man City is not easy. Jude Bellingham actually came through to say that, well, at the end of the day, football is about who wins the game. And Man City actually bossed that game, but Real Madrid came up with the result. And at the end of the day, I think Real Madrid, these are the champions of Europe, I think. They have known what it means to do the business in Europe. In the Spanish La Liga, they've been hot. They've really been bulletproof inside there. Of course, a Vinicius that is going to light up games like this. I'm most definitely going to be looking into a matchup of Vinicius and Araujo, because the statistics show that when Araujo comes up against the very best in the business, it's either a red card or he's going to put up a performance that's like below par, maybe like 2 out of 10. Last time he faced Kylian Mbappe a red card inside there. He faced the Vinicius a red card inside there, and all the guys that he's facing are scoring goals inside that one. There's not a lot to talk about in this game. I'd really be feeling for Rafinha, who actually put in a lot of work to see that Barcelona actually goes on to play business in Europe, but that didn't come for him. And he has really been ticking recently. He's been doing in the work. Of course, you never forget Lamal for you playing a lot of sports from the right-hand side, a lot of beautiful football. But of course, if the other players cannot tick with you, then it will not work. Robert Lewandowski is not delivering the goals like he should be. He was actually pedestrian in the Champions League. So coming into the El Clasico, this result only goes one way, and the only one way that it goes through is Real Madrid. I'll give you guys a Real Madrid 3-0 win inside here. Well, this weekend has a lot of action packed. When you get into France, PSG takes on Lyon. Lyon is a side that it didn't start the season well, but they've actually begun peeling in the results. The last time they were playing last week, they won the game at the death. Of course, called, I like to use the word called, because people who have the balls to come and take a penalty shootout after the controversy of VAR and everything, and you score a penalty like the one that ends Maitland now scored for Lyon the other week was really crazy. So Lyon, on the other hand, has really tried to steady their ship. Of course, if you're to look on paper, they have a good midfield, they have a good strike. Well, when you get Matip, when you get a Matic inside there, of course, Man United and Roma know him. You get Florent Tolisso, Corentin Tolisso, Bayern Munich, of course, knows him well. You get one of the guys that's scoring goals in the league, that's Alexander Lacazette. And then a Maitland-Niles that's playing a number 2 and playing in the center of the pitch. You face a PSG side that doesn't know how to keep clean sheets. So this is going to be an interesting game for you guys to watch. Go and watch that game in the French league. But I think this game will be about teams to score because PSG cannot really keep a clean sheet. When you get into Germany, of course, the Bundesliga went. I think Harry Kane and his boys noticed that the champions of Bayer Leverkusen, shout out to you guys. I think Xavi ball must be the best football in Europe right now. They actually managed to keep the unbeaten run against West Ham the other day, pushing their wins to, I think, 47 unbeaten. That is really crazy, right? They were losing against West Ham in the Conference League, Europa League. It must have been the Europa League. And then, of course, Jeremy Frimpong comes off the bench to score an equalizer in the 88th minute. Well, of course, I was following the buzz on Twitter, and everyone is like, I think the unbeaten ends today, but well, it did not end. Champions elect, Bayer Leverkusen take on Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, fresh from beating Atletico Madrid. I didn't see that one coming. It was actually a shock. Atletico Madrid didn't turn up on the night. Well, of course, facing the champions do not want to let their unbeaten go. I don't know what Xabi Alonso will do. I don't know if he's going to give stats to some of the players that have not been really playing games. The Kosonos inside there. There's been Timothy Fosu-Mensah hasn't really been playing games. There's been the goalkeeper from Man United that they signed, the Kovac, that has been playing in the Europa League. I don't know if they're going to be giving them a run of games. But I don't think Bayer Leverkusen is about to lose their unbeaten run. So I'll give you guys maybe a draw in this one. And then when you get into Italy on Monday, AC Milan takes on Inter Milan. Well, that is going to be a really interesting game to watch. AC Milan has been ejected from the Europa League by Roma. And then Inter Milan, of course, was booted from the Champions League long time ago. In terms of who is winning games at the moment, AC Milan has been racking up beautiful results recently. Of course, they pegged back a bit last time out. They drew 3-3. Inter Milan also drew 2-2 against Cagliari. These same guys were able to beat Juventus the other day, so I wouldn't be shocked about how Italian football is moving. But the prediction for me in this one would be a draw. I'll be drawing inside this one. And then I'll wrap up the show with the controversy that happened at Chelsea. Well, I personally think the Chelsea backroom staff and everyone needs to, I think they need to put these boys in check, because if you're to check the incident that happened when the players were fighting for the penalty, that is Madueke and Nicolas Jackson, it wasn't a nice thing to say. Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't remember the last time I saw players fighting for a penalty, but I'd like to give my stand on the issue, and I think systems in this club should be streamlined, because if Chelsea has a penalty take and that's Cole Palmer, then I think by the time the penalty comes through, I think it would be nice for both of these two lads to probably ask Cole Palmer, can I please take this penalty? But now from Chelsea's point of view, Cole Palmer is now pushing the golden boot, right? So if you're trying to see someone that's pushing a golden boot, let the man have the penalty. He's the penalty taker already. Even the coach knows that. Everyone in the team knows that he's a penalty taker. Let the player take the penalty. Because that's the same thing that happened at Barcelona when Suarez was eyeing the golden boot. Everything was coming to Suarez, be it the penalties, be it the free kicks. They ensured that the guy was going to go toe-to-toe with Ronaldo and win the boot, and he actually did. But then I also want to think that the boys at Chelsea, the ego is too much. Because even the senior players of the team couldn't really control the incident. You see, Malo Gusto was just laughing it out and looking into how the players are fighting for the ball and all that. But then, if I'm also looking into Madueke, from Madueke's point of view, he had a rift with Pochettino some time ago, and I think he wants to get his confidence back. So, for him to jump onto the ball and think, well, Cole Palmer has scored 3 goals, let me take this, would also be something to boost his confidence. But at the end of the day, my stand would be that I think these kids need to think about the club. They need to think about the reputation of the club. They need to most definitely know that the club is structured. Let's go by the structures. If Cole Palmer gets that ball now and he feels Madueke needs to take this penalty to boost his confidence, let him give it to him. But also Conor Gallagher and Palmer coming through to brush off the kids like that also didn't create a good picture. It would have been resolved way when they got the penalty. So I think the structures at Chelsea should change. Most of these boys should know that they are not above the club. Ego aside, they need to focus on the club before that. And as we check out in the episodes, I'd like to remind you guys that the Ndege League season kicks off tomorrow, Kings Park Arena. Of course, I'm rooting for the Knights. And then there's going to be a lot of stuff inside there. New sponsorships on board, new partnerships on board, new teams coming through on board. I think just spare time, come through to the Ndege League. Let's vibe. VP Band will be doing something for you guys that like the music. And, well, it's been nice coming back on set. It's been nice talking to you guys again. We go again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. We go again. Peace and love.